Park. It is super hot right now. It's early September, and bow season for deer hunting is about to start. We're in the middle of the woods. Of course, you've seen the drive out here. It's an amazing little spot, beautiful trails. But there's some interesting things that we found in the trail. One of them being a moose track. So right now we're gonna set up for deer, hoping that we're able to catch Mr. Moose, who is an endangered species here in the mainland of Nova Scotia. Get a picture of him for our own viewing pleasure. It's very rare to have something like this happen in Nova Scotia, so just to capture in camera would be nice. And this section, we know from previous years, is highly traveled, and I'll give you a good look here at the game trail and the setup that we're going to be using in order to capture these. Hopefully we have some success. Alright, so here's what I have. We have a game trail that comes from somewhere up there. It crosses over across here and travels down through the woods in that direction. This game trail has been here for a long time. But what we're going to do is we're going to set apples over here in front of the ATV, and then we're going to set the camera up over here on one of these trees, and it's going to capture that section of space in between the game trail that's right here and a water source which comes out of the top of this hill, which is really neat. So hopefully we'll have game camera here, apples right about here, and the spring that comes out from underneath the road pops out there to a fully fledged running spring way off and down there right here, which will get us in the realm of anything traveling to and from water. We'll come across our apples and hopefully cross our camera. It's just a great spot. And also, if I'm going to set up for hunting, I'm going to set up way down there, or I may set it on the ground in here someday if it gets cold enough during bow season. That's one of the problems we've been having in the last 15-20 years, is that it's been too warm during the early bow season to actually go deer hunting with a bow and then not lose your meat, because if the deer doesn't go down right away and you don't get it into cold storage right away, you lose your meat overnight or during the day within a few hours before you recover it. So let's get to work. Let's set something up and let's do it. Yeah.
These are motion sensed, right?
Yeah, common trail camera.
What?
It's common trail camera.
I'll have to set up.
So one of the things you'll notice about this setup is that the trail is running this direction behind me. And the trail camera is set up not to actually capture the whole trail, it's pointing down the trail on one side. The reason for that is you need a certain amount of time in order for the camera to actually capture whatever's moving in the frame. If I turned it sideways to the trail, the animal may have passed through the camera's angle before you'd ever capture it. So as long as I stick it in one direction or the other, there's a good chance that whatever's traveling through the trail, because they're going to use the path of least resistance, I will capture. Now I've had hit or miss luck with these cameras. They tend to point in an upwards direction, but for the most part, they should work. I'm excited to have new cameras because my old one had about a third of the resolution. On this setup, this is the future camera view, so anything coming through here or walking this way, we're either going to catch them by the bum or the head, going to this apple pile. And keep in mind there's an actual game trail behind us that's used by deer often. I'm going to show you something that I found a couple years ago that's just off to the side of us, below us. It tells me that this has been a really good spot in the past for other people. See if we can find it. There's my property boundary line. I crossed over. Yeah, that's how we tell here where we're at. This whole place used to be fenced off. Oh, here we go. Look at this. See that? Another one there. Another one there. There is a ladder all the way up to the top of the crook of that tree. And do you know why that ladder's there?
I know.
I know you know.
Why?
Game trail runs right by this tree. So those 12-inch spikes have been there for 50 years, and someone has hunted out of this tree before because this game trail's existed for that long. So we're going to use it to our advantage, and we're going to set up some apples, get some pictures. I mean, it's beautiful in here. This is awesome.
The reason that's there is because somebody used to have a deer stand up there, and they would go up there and hunt.
Well, there was no actual deer stand up there. That's just, they would sit in the crook of the tree at the top, and that's where they would hunt from.
Yeah.
Very cool. And I know walking on the game trail isn't ideal, but here it doesn't seem to matter. We're in the woods all the time, and the deer stay around all the time, so they're not super wild creatures like you'd find in more isolated parts of the world. We just kind of keep to it. That old deer stand is only 20 meters off the apple pile that we just put out. Look, I don't know if I can get this for you guys, but I'm going to show you what a spring pressure is, natural spring pressure. Deer tracks, right here by the spring. Oh guys, this is awesome. Look at this. So, that's a spring. Alright, remember how I said I have moose in my property and everyone's kind of judging me on it? Now here's your dew claws, and there's your actual print. So it's about 10 inches from dew claw to toe. That is not a cow. And the reason I know it's not a cow, even though I've had a bunch of people in my personal group say, oh, it could be a cow, is that over the past 2 years, this print has been here at this time of year every year. not always here. I thought it was gone for forever, because who knows how he survives around here. But really though, who knows how he gets along, because how does no one see this moose? Turns out that he actually decided to take a walk into my field, and the wire, top wire from my electric fence, is about 36 inches high, and he didn't drag all 3 wires off. He dragged just the top wire off and broke it in half, and I imagine he got quite a ride on the electric train there when he went through it. Broke the wire in half, stepped over through the top wire of the fence, and tore off 400 feet of fence line. That's a moose. We measured his stride. It's about his quarter stride's just under 36 inches, so that would make him to have about an 8-foot body, and his belly would be just about chest high for me. Kind of cool. Hoping to grab a picture of it, and maybe in the future if we do get him, and maybe next year before I actually get a photograph of him, as long as he doesn't run into any issues through this year. It'd be so cool to see that. Hey, you never know, maybe we'll get a cougar as well. A cougar. We have coyote issues though here, a lot of them. Whenever the barnyard light went down, we had nothing but issues with the coyotes trying to come into the yard, and the dogs not enough because the coyotes are trying to kill the dogs, so that's part of the issue as well. So it's kind of nice we have our own little apple orchard, so the kids were easily able to pick 10 gallons of apples so that we could do that. And we do that until all the apples are gone, so it saves me from having to buy them. That just saved me $25, and as long as we can do it, it'll continue saving me $25. I can't convey to you how hot and muggy it is right now. It's been cold all summer, and this is the worst it's been all summer.
25 degrees.
Yeah, also with humidity, it's like 38. So, probably gonna jump in the pool there. We got a big hurricane coming supposedly next weekend. They don't know what it's gonna look like for sure, so we're gonna keep an eye out for that, and maybe we'll do some videoing for that, and we'll update you whenever we get some photographs of whatever's coming through there, now that these apples are going on.